questions that might be a little different, and I appreciate your willingness to listen to them.
I am always willing to listen. We will see if we are willing to answer.
Certainly. Well, I wanted to thank you for introducing my partner to me. He decided to travel to Hawaii because he was listening to one of your transmissions, and you said that everything seems to happen more quickly there. And we very quickly met. He introduced me to you. 7 months later, we were pregnant, and now we have a 4-year-old daughter.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you. Also, it's significant that a week from today I turned 40, and I'm at a very fortuitous time, as you mentioned, these cycles of 40. So
yes.
A little bit about my background and what I'm intending to learn from our interaction today. It's, of course, to serve humanity in its highest. I'm a physician by profession, and I have started working for the last 12 years plus with psychedelic medicines that are here to expand consciousness, to help ascend humanity.
The teachers of the earth.
Yes. I feel very honored because I'll be moving into a position, my dream job, I call it, where my goal is to bring 5-MeO-DMT and psilocybin to the masses as a safe and therapeutic medication for expanding and exploring consciousness.
It seems you already have several clients.
It seems like you're familiar with these medicines. What can you tell me about them that can help me serve in my highest?
When appropriately guided, they allow the human consciousness to expand into other dimensions, other realms of spirit, other vibrational frequencies, and allow you to make genetic connections, open up the markers, the genetic markers in your system, so that they are all aligned in a way to allow you to make more connections with more awareness and more consciousness to the spirit realm, your spirit guides, your angelic team, soul family, so on and so forth, plus the consciousness of the beings, the sentient beings that surround you on earth, the animals, the trees, the elementals, so on and so forth. So they open up doorways to other forms of communication with other levels of consciousness that exist in your reality, but in general remain invisible to most of humanity who don't allow those doors to open.
Thank you.
So that it creates a new kind of open contact with all the different beings and species of your own planet.
Wow. What are some of the genetic markers that I might study?
Look to the mitochondrial DNA. This is one of the strongest ways to understand where you are going and where you've come from. And it is also one of the strongest symbols that represents the idea of the balancing of feminine energy in your society at this time.
Would you be more specific about where in the mitochondrial DNA one might look?
No.
Thank you. That is very helpful.
Anything else?
Oh, yes.
One moment. In what area will you practice?
I've been having a clinical practice right now where I am responsible for holding the space and container, helping individuals prep, and then administering the medicine, specifically ketamine, because
I
it's
am
legal.
asking you what location on your planet.
I'm in New Orleans, and I'll be relocating to Madison, Wisconsin, to work with a nonprofit institute there.
What is the name of your child?
Jasmine?
Another name from nature, like the hybrid children that will come to live among you. Are you planning to have another child?
Yes.
By the name of Madison?
That would be beautiful.
Since that's where you're moving?
Yeah.
All right.
Can you tell me more about my children?
As I said, they are a new species. They are more genetically connected. They are more willing to remember who they are. They are more willing to remember themselves as spirits, as souls, having a human experience. So learn from them as they grow. Learn from who they are speaking with that you may not see at first, bringing through information that can be of great help and great assistance to your practice. For they have made an agreement to help you in this way.
Thank you. Would you be willing to tell me more about my lineage?
No.
Am I a hybrid?
All humans are hybridized. That's what Homo sapiens are. Remember, long ago, the Anunnaki introduced their genetic material into the natural hominid that existed and evolved on your planet to create Homo sapiens sapiens. So you are all hybridized. And you have been hybridized since then, especially those that are part of the hybridization program. Your genetics have been, shall we say, refined to allow you more ability to connect to spirit, to allow you more ability to connect to each other telepathically, emotionally, compassionately, empathetically. So continue. Again, this is one of the reasons why we give you all the formula. It helps enhance what has already been given to you genetically. It helps raise those frequencies and allows you and your genetics to operate in an optimum fashion. Is this helping you?
This is very helpful. A question about that with the elements for life. Why is light not included?
Which elements are you referring
For
to?
sustaining life, air, water, sleep, and so forth?
Well, because you are light, but
Okay.
we're talking about the idea of what helps you thrive as a physical being.
I see. I was visited by a spacecraft in 2015 over the water in Palos Verdes, and I would like to know more about that encounter. Do you have any information about who visited me, the intent, and...
Even though it was over the water, it was what you call a dry run. For what we have described in the last transmission about UFOs appearing just offshore over water, so that you get a chance to simply observe them at arm's length until you are comfortable. Then they will come closer.
Is there an ET named Kasabian trying to make contact with me?
You give the names that are resonant vibrational symbols that mean something to you, that align with you. Most don't have names as you understand them. But you can use that as a vibrational symbol if it links you to that particular entity or frequency. One moment. You are very strongly connected to Pleiadian energy, and it is probably a Pleiadian craft that you saw.
Yes, that would make sense.
There are some birds in the audience. Or should we say avian dinosaurs? Will that do?
A few more questions specific.
No, not a few.
Okay. I'm very interested in the biological and belief-based reasoning behind many physical conditions.
Yes.
Would you be willing to tell me more about the biological and belief-based basis behind severe myopia and a few other conditions, please?
Well, it depends on the person and the reason they may have created that for themselves.
My severe myopia?
I cannot discuss health issues. It is not allowed. But the idea in general is to look at the symbology of what it is you are experiencing that you otherwise wouldn't learn if you hadn't that condition.
Right.
That's how to look at it.
Beautiful, thank you. Would you be willing to share a song from your culture?
At another time.
Okay. I'm very curious about what, if anything, you sing your young ones to sleep with. Some of our nursery rhymes don't resonate.
We don't
with me.
sleep.
What you sing or how you communicate comfort to them.
They are comforted by our existence, by our love. Understand that we are, in our civilization, one family. I don't mean genetically, although to some degree I do. But we are one family telepathically. The adults are the parents of all. The children are the children of all. We are telepathically bonded. No one is ever out of our sight. So there is that great blanket of comfort of knowing that you are always within the loving cocoon of our entire society, no matter where you go. You are always connected. That itself, in a sense, is a song. Now, you have had music played here, lovingly, wonderfully, by the beautiful individual that has given you the sounds of the flute and the sounds of the bowls. And you could say perhaps that you were bowled over by it. And that in repeating the flute from day to day, you experienced some flute loops. In our society, we do have percussion, we do have wind instruments, and we do have string instruments. They would sound very simple to you, however, and are usually based on the idea of beats of 3. However, even though it would sound very simplistic to your ears, because we can hear more than you can, it sounds like an orchestra to us, because we can hear more notes than you can. So if that gives you some idea of the music that you would experience in our world, then there you go.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
I'm terribly excited to be
Oh,
speaking.
terribly excited.
Yes. And imminent contact, I want to be ready.
Speak up, speak up.
With imminent contact, I want to be ready, and I wanted to ask you about best practices physically.
Follow the formula.
I thought you were going to say that, but I have a specific question about
Yes.
our hearts.
Yes.
If I encounter an electrical field that's so much different than my human body, are there things I can do before contact to strengthen my heart, my electrical system?
Be of service to humanity in whatever way you are passionate about doing so to open up your heart and allow you to become more vibrationally compatible with those beings whose frequency you may not be compatible with right now.
Oh.
Because
Okay.
it's all about being of service. It's all about connecting on that deep level of the heart, of the spirit, of the soul to others. It's about expressing compassion.
Okay.
Yes? Does that help you?
It does help because I practice it with animals. I have deer come through my field and
All right.
maybe raccoons, and I try to, and birds.
Animals are a good practice.
Yes.
Now you can perhaps try it on humans. Remember that animals, not that they are literally angels, but animals come from the angelic realm. They are here to give you unconditional love, unconditional support, and unconditional reflection of whatever processes you may be going through, so that you can learn from them what you need to pay attention to within yourself. So giving them love can be reflected back to you to make sure you give yourself the same unconditional love, and to others as well, as you express your compassion in service to others in humanity.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I have one more question. When I was at the end of my 3rd pregnancy, I lived in a cabin in a remote area of the forest. And one day, what looked to be a government car drove up, and 2 men in suits got out and came to my door. They knocked. I answered the door, and that is all I can remember about this event. And also, I'm Rh negative. I don't know if that had something to do.
Yes, it does. We will not go deeply into the idea of the Rh negative factor, though it is connected to some ancient genetics and extraterrestrial origins. But of course, the idea is that those individuals were not what you think they are, and you had an experience that was erased from your memory, an encounter that you will remember in time.
Because my daughter is here. She's in the audience, and she was the one maybe they were checking up on.
Oh, they were checking up on all of you.
That's good to know.
Remember, those that belong to the hybridization program, this exists in family lines for generations and generations and generations.
Okay. And my last question is, I live in the Black Hills of South Dakota, and could you tell me if there are vortexes there? And
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
There is also a portal that leads to another dimension that has to do with